right?
It really is.
That's a real good trade.
And it's everything. You know, every once in a while you have a Sam Shepherd or a Howlick thing, but
Yeah, but how long ago was that?
oh, we're talking 60 years and then 30 years probably for the garage.
Yeah,
That's not too bad.
not really.
My
series where they have the secret agent and car with the lights go down. Oh, James Parker. James Parker.
Roger Moore.
The other guy was in Audible.
Yeah. Well, I don't want that. Pearson.
Charles
Pearson.
Pierce.
Okay.
That's who. Yeah, he played a good but he played that volcano. And he was a seismologist. And then volcano erupted. And he was caught in the middle of the town where they were evacuating. He ended up running, I don't know if you saw this.
No.
He ran his truck into the into one of the closed mines, didn't barrel it because our classic ground was coming, and it was going to engulf him. His family had his kids and his wife in the car, in the truck, and they just went right into the mine. They got buried in there. They survived. Oh, she didn't move.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a bit more careful. It was called volcano. Because you got the classic clock. Oh, okay. The kidney stuff, that's funny. That's not funny.
I thought that was normal. The guy goes, no, like you, it was one of the tools. Really? That would be nice. Right.
Ready to get out? It's supposed to snow. Is it snowing by your house?
I have no clue. I probably is. It's snowing here, yeah. About 35.
That was weird.
There was some Indian interested. Half the crystal was actually till yesterday. Yeah. And then so we took our chances. I mean, he was only pretty fast.
Yeah.
But it was, he's my trainer. He's my,
Is that over by where he lives?
yeah. He's my eye and ear, and I'm not over there. He'll call me. Okay. He's my assistant.
I tried to pull that brush.
Yes, he's out here. I did it one time. I was knocking myself out. Yeah. But thank you.
Talk to him anytime.
Not really. I don't see him much.
Good evening. Welcome to Bedford Council's regular meeting of March 16th, 2026. If you would please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and Here.
Spiker.
Here.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of March 2nd, 2026. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Spiker. Call the roll, please.
Smith.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi.
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Selby.
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of March 2nd, 2026. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Smith, second by Longino. Call the roll, please.
Smith.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi.
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Selby.
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 16-26.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with the city of Twinsburg for emergency dispatch services and declaring an emergency.
It's our wish to put that on second reading. Could I have a motion for such? Smith, second by Barry. Call the roll, please.
Smith.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi.
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Selby.
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
I'm trying to find something here. Before we get into reports, I want to thank and shout out for the finance department on their clean audit from the state, which, oh, there you go. That's what I was looking for. This is a award from the state from the Ohio Auditor of State Award with Distinction, presented to City of Bedford, Jennifer Howland, Director of Finance. This award is presented for excellence in financial reporting related to your annual comprehensive financial report and compliance with applicable laws for the fiscal year ended in 2024. Your exemplary reporting serves as the highest standard for clean, accountable government, representing the highest level of service to Ohioans. Signed by Keith Faber, the Auditor of State. This is a big deal. Only about 4% of the cities in the state of Ohio get this award. And we have gotten this for a few times. Over 30.
That was a different one. This one we get periodically.
Oh, that was the other one. This is the other one. I'm sorry. But this is,
This was a better one.
this, right. This means a lot that the money is being looked at and handled professionally and correctly. And again, thank you to you and your staff that really put the time in and keep our finances in order. Congratulations and pass it around. That's really huge. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, just to add to that, there was some interesting numbers that the auditor, when she came out last week, shared with Jen and I. They have over 6,000 clients. They perform, I think it was 4,200, 4,500 audits annually. But if you take that 4% out of the 6,000 entities across the state, schools, cities, villages, townships, less than 250, 240 received this award. So, you know, I think it proves, and have to give credit to City Council as well. Mayor Cochi, one of the primary functions is approving the budget, monitoring the budget, but also Jen, kudos to you and every one of the staff in the finance department, payroll, everything. To have clean audits, to have audits where there's 0 comments, not even recommendations, I mean, that's tremendous. So, job well done, pass that on to the staff. I'll get lunch one day. So,
That's very cool.
yes, very well done. Just a quick update on a couple items. We did apply for two grants for 2027 and 2028, and they're county grants, 50-50 matching dollars. And what we're looking at is to apply those funds, if successful, towards the reconstruction of Solon Road. Now, what this means is Solon Road wouldn't be done all at once. If we get these funds, we'll actually be breaking it down into sections as we get the grants and continue to work to make the improvement. But we need to start at some point, to reconstruct that roadway in the manner that we believe it needs to be, concrete. The quote or the estimate that we received about a year ago was about $3.4 million just for Solon Road. And the reason it's so high and why we want to construct that the way it is now, there's a lot of bus traffic on that roadway with the bus garage. There's waste management and trash haulers that utilize Solon Road. If you asphalt it, sure, you're going to save some dollars. It is not going to hold up the amount of time that we need it to hold up for. So we're looking at some alternative methods, and we did apply for those grant dollars. Also, just want to give a quick update. I did share with council, we are working with a company to clear some wooded area that the city owns along Willis Street near Willis and Taylor. There's a large tract of property that we own, approximately 5 acres. A large portion of that is woods. We're going to clear that in anticipation of bringing a proposal to council to construct a new salt storage location. Salt storage, we typically go through 3,000 tons a year. We only have the capacity to hold 500 to 600 tons, maybe a hair over 600 if we get creative as far as piling it in our current dome. But that makes things very challenging, especially going through the heart of winter where you're constantly dependent on the provider. We've seen the news, the salt shortages. If we have a facility where we can stockpile, it puts us in a much better position moving forward, and that's our goal. So if you see some activity on Willis, that is what is going on. Our capital budget, we're able to submit that every 2 years to the state of Ohio. Jennifer Kuzma completed that last week, and we did put in a request for approximately $1.4 million for the final phase of the connectivity project, which will establish a trailway and pedestrian bridge over Tinkers Creek, tying into the Egbert Trail. And that was submitted. We'll be meeting with our local senators and other elected officials to push for that project support. While we're talking about that, the second phase of the project, the NOACA grant of $475,000 that the city applied for to connect the Commons to Viaduct Park, that was officially approved by NOACA's board of directors last Friday. So that grant fund is a success, and we'll start working on engineering for that portion of the project. Again, kudos to Jen in our development department. She put a lot of effort into that project, and it was good to secure those funds. Last item I have is we've completed our calendar of events for 2026. A number of new things going on. That'll be going out shortly. It'll be on our website and social media outlets shortly. And also stay tuned for a separate mailer that will be sent to everybody's homes, highlighting the activities scheduled for the 250th anniversary of the country. City and Mayor Kochi, Councilman Mangino, staff at our Parks and Recreation Department have put a lot of effort into that. A lot of cool things going on. So keep on the lookout for that. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Montello.
I have no report, just want to wish everybody a happy Easter. I don't think we'll see you before next Easter, before Easter I should say. So have a good Easter.
Thank you. Mrs. Howland.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add a little more to the background of this award. This is an award, it's an entity-wide award. A lot of what goes into this, there's items where reasons you get it is when there's no findings of recovering, there are no ethics referrals, there are no questioned costs. We filed the report on time, and there's no other financial or other concerns. So it takes the whole city in order to accomplish this. It's not just me, it's not just the finance department, it's the entire city and council as well. So I just wanted to let you say that about that.
Good. Again, congratulations. Mr. Smith.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Jennifer and her department on getting this award. This award is very well taken and deserved. Secondly, April 13th, all of my residents Award 4, please put on your calendars that we will be having award meetings April 13th here at City Hall. That's from 6:30 to 9.
Yeah.
6:30 to 9.
6:30 to, it's usually 2 hours. 6:30 to 8:30. As long as we need, yeah.
Yeah. Also, just touch a little bit more on 25th celebration. There have been some, I think there were some mailers have gone out already, but it will be coming from Recreation Department. Those dates would be the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Please come out, residents, please come out and enjoy what has been planned. From what I've seen, it's going to be a great celebration, and I don't think anyone in the area is going to match what we're doing. So enjoy it and just celebrate. Lastly, there are going to be some commemorative items that will be sold online, is it, Mike?
Yeah, there'll
Okay.
be some information as far as shirts and pins and, yeah.
Okay, so buy all that stuff, and thanks. Have a great evening. End report.
Mr. Berry.
Hello, everyone. As per usual, I'll start with a community highlight. As Mike mentioned, the city's NOACA funds were officially approved. I do want to thank everyone with the city who worked on that, specifically Jennifer Kuzma. I was emailing her today, and what I didn't know is these things take quite a while. So it's not like it's just an 8-hour day, just getting things sent out and it magically happens. So the more I meet people within the city, the more I realize that everybody who works for the city wants the best for the city. So when issues come up, we have to kind of dive into the questions of, the decisions aren't being made just like lackadaisical make decisions. They're being made because someone thinks that that is the best thing for the city. So that's usually what I start with whenever talking to residents on issues that are occurring. In terms of residents' correspondence, we documented 4 new items, closed 3 items, and currently have 18 open correspondence in progress. A few key updates at Wandle and Broadway. The stop here to actuate signal sign has been made a higher priority on my list now that the weather conditions are improving. And I'll work with the city to get that installation scheduled. On Palmetto, I've reopened correspondence regarding an abandoned house and vehicles on the property. I'll be following up to make sure we continue pushing forward to address that situation. Also on Palmetto, a resident brought to my attention that a fire hydrant has been down for several months. While this does not impact the fire department's ability to respond to emergencies, we are working to have it repaired and returned to service. As for council actions, I attended a workforce development meeting with the Bedford City Schools alongside the mayor. I participated both as a representative of the city and through my experience in the manufacturing industry with APEC Engineering. We discussed ways the schools can better prepare students for careers in the trades. The trades currently offer incredible opportunities, and I strongly support encouraging Bedford students to pursue a career in the trades. This is something I feel very strongly about. I work with tradesmen every day. I'm currently checking in with on site with union electricians, and I think it is something that we need to encourage our students at Bedford to keep open and pursue. Right now, we have a huge need for skilled tradespeople. And so if you have any students, or if you're looking to kind of establish a career, that is something that is, I don't see going anywhere in our lifetime, and there's a lot of changes happening in society right now. Finally, following our previous work session, I completed the standard email templates for the boards and commission process. These will help ensure the city's communication remains professional and consistent. Please keep in mind that the application period is open till April 1st, so anyone interested in serving on boards or commissions should submit a resume and cover letter to the council clerk Tracy Simons. Is that right? All right. I messed it up last time, so I need to correct myself. Over the next few weeks, I will continue working on the boards and commissions process. Council will be conducting applicant interviews on March 23rd. And as always, I will continue to follow up on residents' concerns and ongoing projects to ensure steady progress. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Longino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to start by saying, it was a good 2 weeks for me because I didn't call Mike. So if I didn't call Mike then, that means not that there weren't issues out there, because I always tell anybody, if you have a problem, give me a call or issue that I can take care of, because I always say you will get an answer. Sometimes it's not the answer you want to hear, but you will get an answer, because my next call is normally to Mike. So, but I hadn't called him, so everything's been good. I also wanted to say a few things, and I wanted to say, this is not the forum for us to discuss national politics, ever, I think personally. But I do want to say, God bless our servicemen. And God bless the ones that just lost their lives. We had some ones from Ohio go down. And I'm not just a serviceman, other people up here served as well. And so I won't get into my views on those issues that are going on around the world, but we have to pray for our servicemen and servicewomen who are out there doing the things that we can't do anymore. Because I thought about 9/11, even though I had already been to Saudi, I volunteered to go back after 9/11, and there's no doubt in my mind I would be ready to go again if I had to, regardless of the way I felt about what's going on. So I'm going to give my time with that.
Thank you. Mrs. Spinks.
And thank you, Mr. Longino, for your service, and Mayor and Frank Smith for y'all's service. So recently, most of the calls that I've received over the last 2 weeks have been the horrible storm that we had. Mike, I have a question, because a lot of my residents, of course, had trees down. I had pretty much trees on every streets down. I did text you, but I know you're really busy this week. So will our chipper service be out? Because I didn't know what to tell them, and some of them were small trees, and some of them, they didn't want to just pile them in the yard to kill the grass, so they piled them on the tree lawn. Are we gonna know? Last time we had a bad storm, our chipper service did come out.
Yeah, we brought it out, I think that was in the fall.
Yeah.
It was shortly after that the equipment was pulled off, but we were able to bring it out. I believe the services starts next month.
Okay.
But we have a staff meeting every Tuesday,
Okay.
so this is a topic that we're going to discuss as far as the storm and what other items need to be addressed. I will say, it won't change what we're able to collect. Like, residents should still follow the information. I believe it was even in our Good Neighbor Guide as far as the length and the thickness and what the machine can take. So that all stays the same as far as individuals like putting stuff on the lawn. That we can't take large diameter items or very long items. It's broken down, and I can put that in this week's memo, the specifics if council would, if you'd like. But as far as anybody I would recommend putting the stuff out on the tree line. And then our staff will get it as soon as we have that piece of equipment out and are able to do that. There was a number of trees down, both on private property as well as public. Service department worked on that cleanup today. There were some areas, if you saw the caution tape, all of that was done by staff. That is because there were down power lines and other issues. Stay away from that. Assume, I think the mayor always used to say, assume all down lines are powered. Stay away. But, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, and yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that to make sure and stuff, because I did that, was the advice that I gave them. And I'm so glad that a lot of people do, because they'll call, even though a lot of spectrum lines were down, but they would call, and I was like, still call, just make sure that, let the professionals come out and determine whether that's a spectrum line, or make sure a cable line, or that is electric line. So don't take it by chance. And with that, talking about the trees and stuff down and everything, I had a new resident, and when this is to new residents, and some people have been here for a while may not, kind of refresh, go in, look at that Good Neighbors Guide, because there's some good stuff in there that's been updated and stuff. You cannot do a fire in your backyard, an open fire, and you cannot do it in a can. So I had some new residents. They were the place looks really nice. They had to do a lot of overgrown shrubs and stuff. Well, they just put a big bonfire in their backyard, and then went off shopping. And thank goodness nothing happened. It was a little bit of a rainy day, but the smoke was kind of got in the neighbors' windows a little bit. So so pay attention to that Good Neighbors advice. Book. Let's see. I want a big shout out to Sarah Gennady down, as always, down at the Elwood Rec Center. We had this past weekend, past Friday, we had our speaker series, the Bedford Historical Society speaker series, and it was hosted at Elwood. This one for March. And she just did a great job, as always, working hand in hand with us at the Historical Society. We've got several speaker series that will be there. The next one will be at the Community Center at the Historical Society in the old church. Fundraiser, as I've been talking about, it's coming up March 28th with Robin Swoboda and our very own Tim Tanner emceeing it. You can still get your tickets at Sherwood Forest. You can go online. I have more information if you need it. Let's see. And board meetings going to be for Ward 1, 5, and 6 will be March 3rd. And let's see. Trash, please try to do your part. If it's in your yard or in your tree line, please try to help keep our neighborhoods clean. It was a pet peeve of mine with the weather being so bad, and then snow melts and there's trash all over, and I had someone called me and says, well, why didn't you pick up the trash on my tree line? Well, why didn't you pick up the trash on your tree line? So the big shout out to Terry, who lives on Tudor. Always lets me, when he's my eyes and ears over a Tudor, and a tree was down on Greencroft, and he calls me up, and of course I send it right to Mike and got it taken care of, and he sent back a nice thank you, said to let the service department know, a big thank you. So Terry, thank you for looking out for the neighborhood, and happy St. Patty's Day for tomorrow. End of report.
Just one point, I was wrong on one item, and I just wanted to clarify. The chipper service does start in April. Next
Okay.
month.
Yeah.
It's always the first full week of the month. We cannot take anything that is larger than 10 inches in diameter.
Okay.
But we'll also not collect items that are less than 3 feet. Actually, the longer the better. That's just for safety of our staff putting it in the machine. So I just wanted to
Is
share.
that in the Good Neighbors stuff?
To share. I believe
think
it
it
is.
is.
I believe it is. Yeah. And I'm certain they're probably not watching it, but we were able to identify 2 young men, looked like teenagers, and last week our staff at our Parks and Recreation Department were trying to identify who they were. They were going around the park just collecting trash and putting it in the trash can, and it's something you don't always see. So if their parents happen to be watching or whatever, like outstanding, and if I find them, I will be sure to give them some type of
I'm sure it's
commendation.
I'm sure it's one of my kids.
To the 2 young men that spent the afternoon cleaning up the park and doing that, job well done, and that's a good example of set. So.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Since the last council meeting, I responded to resident phone calls and visited residents. Taft Park, a resident called the Bedford Police Department dispatch and I regarding multiple vehicles and loud, rowdy people at Taft Park after hours. BPD responded quickly and got to the park before I did. The BPD interviewed the suspects who were required to leave the park. I let the officers do their job and return home. Mike, do you happen to know if citations or warnings were issued to any of the trespassers?
I'd have to pull a specific report. I can let you know afterwards when I check.
I was just curious. On 2 other occasions during my park checks, I found vehicles in the park parking lot after hours in a friendly, non-confrontational way. I informed them that the park closes at dusk. The parties quickly left the park without incident, and BPD dispatch was not called. A suggestion to improve compliance would be what the Cauga Valley National Park does at Virginia Kendall. At the park entrance, a simple sign reads, "Park closes at dusk." A similar sign at Taft Park would increase compliance and reduce the number of police runs. Bedford Historic Downtown Connectivity Plan. For residents who are not familiar with the project, what's proposed is a trail connecting between the Cleveland Metro Parks and downtown Bedford's historic district. After speaking recently with a few out-of-state visitors to our area, I have greater appreciation for the value of the project and the opportunities to actually attract more tourist dollars to help sustain and expand Bedford businesses. The Cauga Valley National Park is attracting quite a few out-of-state tourists with dollars to spend. Those tourists also visit local waterfalls, including Bedford's historic waterfall at Viaduct Park. As someone who used to ride the towpath trail down through Peninsula, Ohio, I understand that an easy and safe trail connection to downtown Bedford would bring hikers and bicyclists into Bedford looking for places to eat, drink, shop, and sightsee as they do in Peninsula. Although Peninsula has the advantage of having the towpath intersect through town, downtown Bedford still offers a timely northern respite stop for tourists, hikers, and bicyclists. I understand some people think that this project is not worthwhile, but I hope people keep an open mind. I think the city should approach the Metro Parks about opening an information and gift kiosk or store in the historic district to encourage recreational traffic. Ohio Substitute House Bill 92. City Manager Malice briefly mentioned House Bill 92 during the March 2nd council meeting. Substitute House Bill 92 was favorably reported out of the Ohio House of Representatives Local Government Committee on, I believe it was on March 11th. Since City Manager Malice and our Director of Finance are in agreement that this bill is detrimental to city finances, Council may want to consider having the Law Director draft a resolution in opposition to the bill and send copies of the resolution in opposition to the Speaker of the House and all Cauga County delegation members. It will be easier and less costly to take action to defeat this legislation now rather than after a favorable vote by the entire House. Wall Street's out-of-town single-family home investors. Good news, President Trump has ordered the Justice Department and the Federal Trade Commission to review institutional investors' large acquisitions of single-family home purchases, including vacancy and pricing strategies in the single-family housing markets for anti-competitive outcomes and antitrust law compliance. Reportedly, deep-pocketed Wall Street real estate institutional investors like Blackstone, Progress Residential, and American Homes for Rent are buying thousands of single-family homes in the U.S. These, among other large institutional investors, now own approximately 500,000 single-family homes. This adds significant pressure, and some people would argue unfair competition in single-family home markets. Out-of-town landlords and of single-family homes as well as apartment buildings have been a problem in Ward 2. When enforcement of city ordinances is necessary, it can be difficult and costlier getting property citations timely cured because owners are out of state and difficult to serve legal documents. These large corporate real estate investors often pay cash for homes, squeezing average Americans who can't afford all cash offers out of the market. As a result, hundreds of thousands of homes become corporately owned, high turnover rental properties. The negative consequences for communities like Bedford become significant over time. Cities with high numbers of rental properties have increased need for cities to enforce property maintenance issues. When family homes transition to rentals, other negative consequences are set into motion. Renters, by their very nature, are more transient. Large numbers of renters can destabilize neighborhoods and school cohesion. Lack of roots and substantial investment in a community tends to make renters less engaged in supporting local community organizations financially or as volunteers. Renters also are less likely to maintain property that they don't own. In contrast, homeowners are more likely to stay long-term, create stable neighborhoods. They generally invest more in civic life, volunteering with local civic groups, and engage in community events. They build home equity, contribute to the local tax base, and tend to maintain property that they own. Long-time residents are a community's memory, cultural anchors, and informal or formal advisors who help ground a community and maintain its quality of life. Their historical knowledge is not only interesting nostalgia, it is a community strategic asset. While all residents are encouraged to participate in Bedford's 2026 master plan process, this is why I've especially encouraged longtime residents to help with Bedford's updated master plan. Longtime residents remember what policies were created, what past policies were successful or failed, and how similar previous challenges were solved. This prevents communities from repeating mistakes and helps civic leaders and public officials make decisions based on local experience rather than guesswork. Bay Market, 607 Northfield Road. The defendant has a pretrial hearing April 15th at 8:45 a.m. I will be attending this hearing. Thank you, and a report.
Thank you. Mr. Spiker.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, and City Manager Malice, and most of all residents of the city of Bedford. Here's some of my Ward 3 notes. I'm working right now, continued work with the city manager and the service department, along with the residents of Henry Street and Justin Street regarding sanitary sewer issues in both areas. Mike, Sean, and the whole team have been very helpful with this, trying to get it resolved. Now that the weather is warming, but you wouldn't know it by looking outside as we speak, and the ice is starting to melt from underground, it will provide a clearer picture once the sewer lines are re-cambered again if there are any structural issues that may need to be addressed. Also, the city is doing a great job. They're working on the cleanup of the Al's Electric back parking lot that butts up against the Cosgrove Park. There's been a lot of junk and things that have accumulated over time, and they're working on getting that issue taken care of and getting the junk and everything out of the parking lot. As Councilperson Berry mentioned earlier, with regards to the boards and commissions positions, they are all in the City of Bedford newsletter. You can look on here and see the different positions that are available. We'd love to have any citizens that are interested or may want to stick their foot in the water and see, if they would want to take, just follow the instructions on here, and we'd be more than happy to, have everyone come in and look at that. Also, Bedford, my ward is Ward 3, and my ward meeting will be on April 13th. So next, also, the Union Street Bridge construction is finally underway, and all the detour signs are posted, and please take time to find alternate routes around that area. Also, another progress that we've came about is Terrace Construction is now working with the Cleveland Water Department to address the issue at the north end of the Northfield Bridge. So hopefully that'll be done in the very near future. Also, with the major windstorm that we had late last week, please inspect your property for any damage that you might see or anything like that, and try to get it addressed through the appropriate channels. I know I had several shingles that were blowing off. I think there might have been even a little mini tornado that went over me, because I went out to the back door and I saw the wind swirling like this. I thought I was going to wind up in Kansas for a minute, but fortunately the old gray lady, as they say, is still standing, which is a good thing. But just do your due diligence, if you would, and make sure that everything is okay at your property. Also, I want to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. There's local establishments that are having different specials and things like that, and if you can, try to celebrate and take advantage of them. End of report.
Thank you. Now let's just get on with the business. Got a motion, John?
Yes, sir. Can someone make a motion to accept the planning commission's decision to deny Fernando Bigsy a zoning permit to open a group home at 58 Charles Street? We get a motion to that effect.
Motion by Barry, second by Longino. This is a yes, no. Yes, you agree with the planning commission to deny. No, you don't agree with the planning commission. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion?
Yes, we have one more motion. A motion to accept the planning commission's decision to accept Furman B., I don't know how to say that name, Resurcion Jr., a zoning permit to open a food production research facility at 225 Northfield Road in the city.
And again, it's yes, you agree with the planning commission, and no, you disagree with them. I need a motion as such by Salvi, second by Spinks. Question, call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 17-26.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Valley Ford Truck, Inc. for the purchase of a 2026 Ford Explorer for the service department and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Smith, second by Longino. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Spiker. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Outside of this purchase, there's not going to need to be extensive outfitting of this vehicle, other than we'll be installing a radio as well as some minor strobe lights, just if staff need to respond to an incident. The current vehicle is still going to be reutilized and repurposed. It's actually replacing a 2011 car that is currently in the police department. That vehicle, the 2011, the city did not purchase. We actually acquired that through confiscation through seal narcotics. So we've gotten a lot of use out of that 2011 vehicle. It's starting to see its end of life, and we'll be repurposing a current SUV in the service department over to police, and then this is replacing that. So a little bit of shuffling, but warranted with the vehicles.
Like I said, we get a lot of use out of our vehicles. Testament to our mechanic staff down at the service department, keeping these things running for years. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 18-26.
Authorizing a contract for the purchase with Valley Ford Truck Center for the purchase of two 2026 Ford F-250 4x4 pickup trucks for the service department and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Spiker. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Barry. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. I did want to point one thing out. There's 3 ordinances, one we just passed, this ordinance, and then there's one other, all regarding vehicles. I did want to point out that all of these vehicles were budgeted for 2026 and presented to council initially when we were doing our department budgets in the fall of 2025. This one in particular, the 2 pickup trucks, as I just mentioned, they were included in the 2026 operating budget. They are replacing 2 2004 pickup trucks that are nearing end of useful life in the service department.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-26.
Amending ordinance number 80-25, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the city of Bedford during the year 2026 and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Longino, second by Barry. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Spiker. Mike, or Jen, I'm sorry.
Thank you, ma'am. So this is the first appropriation ordinance for 2026. At this ordinance, we reappropriate the leftover funds from last year, mainly for grants funds, all the donations that we received last year, and also we're appropriating for those some new grants, and also for the Greencroft Waterline Project, and Tinker's Creek Fund, that's HIF fund up on Tinker's Creek, and Blaine Avenue Campus Redevelopment Fund. So there's a couple others in there too. But we can approve that tonight, if we put that going. Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 20-26.
Yes, sir. Let's see. Authorizing a contract with Valley Ford Truck Centers for the purchase of a 2026 Ford 250 4x4 pickup truck for the Parks and Recreation Department and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension. Spinks, second by Spiker. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Barry. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the third ordinance that I spoke about. It is a truck for a pickup truck as well as a plow for the Parks and Recreation Department. That vehicle assists with obviously snow removal at all of our parks in the Ellenwood Center, but they also utilize it up here to assist Tony during snow events. This was budgeted for in 2026. This vehicle is replacing a 2002 pickup truck.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Spiker.
Yes.
And now we come to hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
Jeff Duber, 134 Harriman. I have 2 items. First one, I just wanted to give a shout out for the crew that came out a couple weeks ago, picked up the leaves that were left from before Thanksgiving. However, if they would have left them, it probably would be Solon's problem now. The other thing I want to talk about is the fire service and dispatch. I was surprised at the last meeting to see that the council is looking at changing the dispatch service again. I was more surprised to see that you're looking at moving it to Twinsburg. I want to start out by saying that I've probably been to more fire stations and dispatch centers than anybody that you know. And I regularly meet with fire chiefs in the area. And I can tell you that generally fire service people, I won't say they're not happy with dispatch services, they're less than satisfied with the way that a lot of the dispatch services run. I think the reason for this is that when dispatch services were initiated way back when, they were done at the police stations, and they were done by dispatchers in the police station. I'm not faulting dispatchers, but the bottom line is that they were taught by the police people. They were housed in the police. They were police dispatchers, and they did things the police way. Police were the top priority for them. I worked under the system where dispatch services were unavailable to us as emergency service people because they had turned radios down, and you would be at a fire scene and not have dispatch service available. It's kind of embarrassing to go and call a different fire station and have them telephone call into the dispatch center and say, hey, can you answer the radio? Not very good in emergency situations. Of course, back when, fire service calls to dispatch were in the minority. But since fire service has taken over EMS, the volume of fire service related calls has increased. And in most cases, the dispatch centers are still controlled by police and by police dispatchers. And the problem a lot of times is that fire service doesn't have a seat at the table when discussions come up about dispatch operations. I can say that our fire service has been very progressive, and in the past they've been at the ground floor of many innovative trends that have now become standard things in the countywide. Some of these things would be like the MAVIS system, automatic dispatch, incident command. Those are kind of things that a lot of those actually in the county, they're countywide programs now, but they actually had their start. Our fire service had part of them being started. When the city transitioned to SEC a few years back, I believe that this was a good positive move, as it would foster a central dispatch that could have a separate dispatcher for fire and had coordination of multiple communities that often work together, including work together with our department. After a couple of years, and I believe that there's only 2 members of the present council that were on then, council decided to switch, and you went to CVD. Mike talked about all the great things that CVD provided, and Stan, I can still remember you saying, this is going to save us money, a lot of money, by doing this. Now, after a few more years, you're wanting to switch again. If you were wrong on the first one, and you're wrong on the second one, why would you even consider a 10-year contract and going to a third one? You want to move dispatch to another police system in another county with a fire division that doesn't do automatic response and on different radio frequencies, and then you say this is good for the citizens of Bedford. 911 system is supposed to be an emergency dispatch system. The book definition of emergency is something dangerous or serious that happens suddenly or unexpectedly and needs fast action in order to avoid harmful results. And this is going to sound biased, but I've spent time in dispatch centers, and most of the calls that I've heard are not true emergencies. Most of the calls for police are calls that involve something that has already happened. And most of the calls for fire involve situations that because of the fire department becoming involved in EMS, these calls include chest pains, injuries, burns, overdoses, and other things that they provide life-saving assistance for. I'm not downplaying the role of the police. Active shooter or robbery in progress is something that's happening, but it doesn't happen as often as chest pains. Everyone here pays a fee on your phone bill for 911 service. That money is distributed through the state into the counties. This county has provided funds to cities that had joined PSAP, and I know that this city has gotten funds for radios from the county. I also know that right now the county isn't distributing a lot of these funds, but we don't know in the future if they will start distributing funds again. I don't see the county giving funds to a municipality that is operating out of a center in another county. I also wouldn't see Summit County distributing funds to a city where they're not collecting from, because their funds aren't coming from us, from our people. I believe that making such a switch will set our fire service back 20 years and have the potential for severe consequences for the residents. As a citizen with some understanding of the workings and needs of the fire service, I'm requesting that you reconsider this proposed change. I'm not a big fan of CVD, and that's for personal reasons. I've heard secondhand some of the stories about their hiring practices, some of the things that go on there. I do believe, at the very least, that our fire dispatch should be done by an agency that's tied into the communities that our fire service responds with. And this change to going to Twinsburg is like putting them on an island. If you're interested in doing something superior with the dispatch, I would suggest that you form a committee with adjoining communities and study the West Shore region dispatch. I'm sure that people from West Shore could tell you about the things that work and the things that need improvement, and you could create a system that would be absolutely the best system in the county. I don't represent our fire division here, and I've only spoke with one person from the fire division here, and that person was not able to give me a lot of information about how this whole thing came about. I've also spoke with someone from the Twinsburg Fire Department, and they questioned the logic of our city moving in with their system. At this time, I would just like you to reconsider your proposal to make this change. I think it would be for the betterment of the community and fire service for you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. You're right, and that's why we do the 3 readings, so it's open and we can do more investigation. That's the whole purpose of that part, to look into what we may not have thought about, or most all of this we have thought about. And I appreciate your comments. The fire department does have a seat at the table for this discussion that's going on about the current dispatch. They are involved with it. There's been a lot of work done in this. It's not just a frivolous thing that we're thinking about just to do it. One of the factors, is saving money, which I said back then, and we'll save even more this time around if this change happens. So there's so much that goes into it, and we've done extensive research. The city manager has done quite a bit. The chiefs there have been involved. So, Mike, if there's some comments you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to add a couple things. And that was accurate, Mr. Duber, that we did say we would save money, and we did save money. We saved quite a bit in the first 4 years, actually probably even 5, 6 years. If you're unaware, CVD restructured their billing. And in 1 year, our costs went up, I think, just under $250,000. Don't quote me on the exact number, I can give it to you. It was a dramatic change to what we were previously paying. So while we did say at the time, look, we're going to make the move from SEC to CVD, a lot of it was the service, and there was also substantial cost savings. That has changed because Chagrin Valley changed their billing model. I think it went into effect in 2025. So I just wanted to provide a little clarity on that. As the mayor mentioned, and I mentioned at the last meeting, why we recommended, and we would always recommend multiple readings. I think I said exactly, there's still a number of things that we're analyzing, and we're looking at that and how it would affect fire or police or the non-emergency and all of those items. But in order, you can't wait until May to start doing things in a 3 reading, because if you're going to make a decision, CVD has a requirement that you notify them in June. So we started these process, we started having these discussions, and there'll be more discussions. I do want to point out, you referenced a 10-year contract, and yes, it's a long contract. We wanted to know what that number was, but both entity has an out at any point, and they can execute that out. Mind you, it doesn't happen overnight. You got to look at alternate means, but there is an out clause, and then it would be like a 12-month to where you can notify one party or another that you want to part ways, if you would say. So there is an out in regards to that. The last thing I just wanted to just provide some clarification. I know, and I'm sure the majority won't understand the PSAP and things like that. Twinsburg is a primary PSAP. Chagrin Valley is a secondary PSAP. So there is a little difference there. But we can talk about that more if you'd like afterwards.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, before we adjourn, I want to just tell everybody have a happy and safe St. Patty's Day tomorrow. And am I green on? And as was mentioned, we won't have another meeting until after Easter, so have a happy and blessed Easter. And good quality time with family and friends. And again, wish you the happiest of Easters and have a great time tomorrow. I have a motion for adjournment by Spink, second by Salvi. Call the roll, please.
Smith?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Spiker?